Hello all, Rick here with a Star Trek Bestiary, this time looking at the strange extragalactic, possibly extra-dimensional being that we only encountered twice in the shows, and we see two examples of. The Nacene. The Nacene are very powerful beings that can dwell in a subspace layer called Exosia. They are both non-corporeal and physical beings, so it seems that they can simply convert themselves between the two states at will. I would like to make a cultural index on them, as they are intelligent beings of a very high technological and evolutionary level, but we just don't know enough. The two examples we meet are the Caretaker and Suspiria, and both are classified as sporocystian lifeforms. A sporocyst is a creature that incorporates an unrelated species into its life cycle in order to reproduce, often parasitic in nature. It could also refer to the reproductive structure of an Escophaera fungi, suggesting a possible origin for these creatures. It would be a bit of a retcon to be sure, but the link is there to tie the Nacene to the subspace layer that contains the mycelial web. Either way, it describes the creatures as possibly parasitic in nature, which ties into the goal of the first encounter, the Caretaker, as he was attempting to locate a being that was compatible for him to reproduce. Often these experiments were fatal to the target, and ultimately he failed in his goal, although this was a desperate measure, as the Caretaker considered himself the last of his people, with responsibilities to complete still. He did describe the Nacene as existing beyond the Milky Way, and that his race considered themselves explorers. Just how technologically advanced they are is not clear, as they utilised both obvious tech, like their arrays, but also are host to incredible telepathic, telekinetic and psionic abilities. The first encounter with their abilities we see is the displacement wave that stranded the Voyager and many other ships in the Delta Quadrant. This was a ripple in spacetime that could transport matter across the 75,000 light-year distance in seconds, albeit not gently. This could have been the method of travel employed most often by his species, and likely included the manipulation of subspace to create such effects. Their chosen energy source was a tetryon reactor, which we only see once more in use with subspace gravitation catapults, which could fire a ship into null space, another alternate realm. Suspiria also dwelt within Exosia, a subspace realm, and could transition to it at will. So this, combined with their choice of tetryon-based energy, paints the picture of a species that is comfortable delving through multiple layers of existence. Exosia was a place of pure energy and thought, where existence was very different from the matter of the regular universe, so the variations in environments they could tolerate were extreme, even covering differing laws of physics. Other technology that they displayed included advanced holographic tech, a wide array of medical equipment, and the ability to scan through entire data systems in minutes. Despite this, their arrays, despite being incredibly advanced, were not that well defended and easily destroyed by Federation technology. In terms of powers that seemed native to their form, they were shown to be shapeshifters of some extent, existing as physical and non-corporeal at whim. Their standard form seemed to be similar to a cell-like structure of translucent matter with a membrane, and while the Caretaker was pretty much a ringed blob, Suspiria had tendrils around the outside. When one died, it left behind a dried-out husk about the size of a fist that sort of resembled coral. These remains, however, could still be used to locate other Nacene as they began to trill and tremble in proximity to another of their species. They were telepathic and could communicate even across layers of existence, as Suspiria did with her followers while she herself resided deep in subspace. Their mental abilities were so precise that they could manipulate matter on an atomic level on a massive scale. It is possible that all of their abilities are down to their technological level and not the result of biological evolution, but like so much else, this is not known for sure. However, Apocrypha does go on to say that they were entities actually from Exosia who made it their mission to preserve the cosmic superstrings of the fabric of the universe, which they did so with varying degrees of success. Although, according to the Q Continuum, this was a waste of time, as the fabric of these leftovers of creation would be completely fine and continue to be without any oversight. In terms of vulnerabilities, as mentioned, their technology was not indestructible or anything, and although an Nacene itself was very powerful, it was not immortal, and could even be poisoned by a specialised toxin when corporeal. Alternatively, the Nacene can establish a telepathic bond with another telepathic species to increase that creature's power, but that bond can also be used to harm both the connected individuals. While the Caretaker perished, Suspiria lives on, overseeing her Ocampa enclave in the Delta Quadrant and could perhaps be met again. Although initially antagonistic towards Voyager through a misunderstanding, she maintained that hostility and eventually had to be forced to leave the vessel. She did so, and while deaths were averted, it is likely that this particular Nacene will not approve of further Federation contact. However, the rest of her species may still be out there somewhere, and a dialogue eventually established. If, after all, they are explorers at heart, as the Caretaker insisted, then there is common ground to be had. Thanks for watching this video on the Nacene. If you wanted more on them, please consider checking out my video on subspace and theories regarding that, or perhaps the Andromeda Galaxy video for further food for thought on the greater nature of the Trek universe. Thanks again for watching, and until the next one, I've been Rick, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.